name is Jon-Paul Decosse, and I am the General Manager of the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Right off the bat, tell us a little bit about the Boardroom Games.
Sure. So the Boardroom Game Cafe is a social space where we've got a collection of over 400 board and card games. Folks can gather with their friends. They can have a couple of beers, a tasty sandwich, maybe even a bowl of candy, and play as many games as they can manage, as they can withstand.
So, what kind of challenges do you have in running a place like this?
Challenges. We're offering a buffet, an unlimited buffet of gaming. So the challenge, as opposed to a bar or a restaurant, where the social expectation of come in, have your food, have your drink, be on your way, is there. The challenge here is how do we make a community social space still profitable enough that we'll be here in 5 years, and I think we're managing that, but that's probably the big challenge.
And what has the difference been between running a store like this in a bigger city like Toronto and coming to Halifax, a little bit smaller community? Have you had any challenges with regards to that, or have you been finding the reception here?
I think for me, I spent 12 years in Toronto before coming to Halifax. It's sort of a shift in focus. I didn't know what to expect coming to a smaller city, but I'd say that there's a greater sense of community here, not just at the Boardroom Game Cafe, but throughout the entire city. People making eye contact, smiling at each other, bus drivers waving at me when I get off the bus. It's a fantastic place to be, and that mirrors itself in what we see here.
So I would say it's probably safe to say that board games and card games and those kind of games in general have been seeing a resurgence in popularity. Why do you think that is? Especially compared to something that's maybe a little bit more private, like video games, for example.
Well, I think probably we've got to point the finger at a game called The Settlers of Catan. In, I think, 1995, the Settlers of Catan won the German Game of the Year, the Spiel des Jahres Award. And the Spiel des Jahres Award has been around, I think, since the late 70s. And that award has mostly been kept as a sort of an international secret of sorts. This is a great game, but games penetrating the North American audience of that complexity and variety didn't really start happening until Catan was translated to English and brought to North America, and then it started hitting tables, and folks started realizing, oh my gosh, there's more out there than Monopoly and Risk. And while those are great games in their own right, now we're seeing North American audiences realizing that not only are there options, but there are thousands of options that have been around for 20 years before we even realized it.
So I guess in your own personal experience, do you have a fond memory of gaming, or what really got you into this kind of scene?
Well, my background is that I'm a trained opera singer, and so I've traveled Canada and throughout the world doing that. And somewhere along the way, I had someone introduce me to the Settlers of Catan, and I'd been a gamer, a family gamer, playing the classics of Scrabble and Risk and Guess Who and whatnot, and it was discovering Catan, and again that same experience of the light bulb going off and realizing that there's so much more to be had out there, so many options of interesting and varied gaming experiences that to sound a little dramatic, operatic even perhaps, it kind of changed the course of my life. That the focus went from this kind of niche art, which is still something I do and love to do, but now it's kind of, for me, it's expanded into this. I get to do a bunch of things that I love, and so that's how this gaming culture came into my life.
You said that your history is in opera. Is there something you could just drop right now for us? A little opera.
I'd rather not.
It seems like Catan is really the gateway drug of board games.
You know, if you ask folks who have been kind of initiated into this style of gaming, my guess is probably going to see 80 to 90% of the people who have played that style of game are going to say that Catan was the game that took them there.
So do you have your own personal favorite game?
It's
like picking one of your kids.
Exactly, right? Which one of my children is my favorite? I think like from a personal, like emotional perspective, Ticket to Ride is my game because it's replaced Risk and Monopoly and whatnot as the family game. Wouldn't surprise me if I've played over 100 games of Ticket to Ride just with my parents. And Ticket to Ride was a game that allowed me to connect with the woman who eventually became my wife.
My favorite game on this shelf, gosh, I'm gonna go down this way. Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards, Duel at Mount Skullsfire.
What would you say the most popular game here is?
Well, there's a game called Cards Against Humanity.
Very familiar with
Right, okay. So
probably not the most TV appropriate game.
No. But if you're asking what's most popular,
yeah,
that's the hot thing right now, which is for those who may be watching and haven't heard of it before, it's an apples to apples type game where the PG content has been replaced with potty humor. And it is a lot of fun. It's a great drinking game, and it's no surprise that it's a big hit in this environment.
So if people haven't been, where would be the best way to check you out online or find more information about the Boardroom Cafe?
Well, our website is boardroomgames.ca, and we're also on Facebook. You can just search for the Boardroom Game Cafe. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr and Google Plus. I'm sure that if you search for any of those things under the Boardroom Game Cafe, you'll find us, and we're always putting out fresh, interesting, engaging content, growing this amazing, exciting community.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jon-Paul, for having us very much.
My pleasure.